They said he was finished, bankrupt, broken, humiliated, a man made of headlines, lawsuits, and debt. But the thing about Donald Trump is that he never stopped seeing life as a deal, even when the table was burning. This is not a story about politics. It's a story about survival, about how a man facing ruin after ruin turned scandal into strategy and humiliation into history. In the 1980s, Donald J. Trump was America's glittering myth, the real estate prince who built towers of gold in a city of concrete and ambition. His name, cast in brass and neon, stretched across skylines from Manhattan to Atlantic City. He wasn't just selling property, he was selling a dream, the idea that success could be seen, touched, and owned. But behind the glass and glamour, the numbers were bending. Trump's empire was built not on liquidity, but on leverage, a performance financed by debt and fueled by ego. When the markets turned, the illusion cracked. By the early 1990s, the self-proclaimed billionaire was drowning in over $1 billion of debt. Banks wanted him gone. Wall Street mocked his name, yet somehow he survived. Trump learned a crucial lesson in those years. If you owe enough money, you don't lose power. You become too big to fail. The very system that crushed others kept him alive. The same boldness that caused his collapse became the reason institutions couldn't let him fall. He began rebuilding not with concrete and steel, but with image and illusion. The Trump name itself became a product, licensed and sold to developers worldwide. He no longer built the towers, he simply branded them. His fortune became his face, his name, his currency. Critics called it hollow, an empire of smoke and gold paint. But Trump called it business. The lawsuits piled up. Trump University, fraud allegations, unpaid contractors. He cut corners, bullied partners, and bent rules. Yet every scandal only kept him in the headlines. For Donald Trump, attention was oxygen. Scandal wasn't a setback, it was strategy. Then came television. When Hollywood called, Trump didn't just join reality TV, he became it. The Apprentice turned his persona into a brand of power, confidence, and dominance. The phrase "you're fired" wasn't just a line, it was a rebirth. Trump was back, this time as America's symbol of ruthless success. Millions watched him each week, learning not about business, but about the myth of Trump, the man who never loses. Then came the night that changed everything. April 30, 2011, the White House Correspondents' Dinner. Under chandeliers and flashing cameras, President Barack Obama roasted Donald Trump, the same man who had pushed the false birther theory, questioning Obama's citizenship.
No one is happier, no one is prouder to put this birth certificate matter to rest than the Donald. And that's because he can finally get back to focusing on the issues that matter. Like, did we fake the moon landing? Say what you will about Mr. Trump, he certainly would bring some change to the White House.
Donald Trump has been saying that he will run for president as a Republican, which is surprising since I just assumed he was running as a joke.
It was clear that Donald Trump was not happy. He bolted for the exits before the other people could leave the Washington Hilton.
The room erupted in laughter. Celebrities, journalists, and politicians, an entire elite audience mocking a man who worshipped status. To most, it was comedy. To Trump, it was war. Something broke that night, and something else woke up. Behind closed doors, Trump began crafting his next act. Not another business, but a campaign. A revenge disguised as a movement. On June 16, 2015, he descended the golden escalator of Trump Tower to announce his run for president.
So, ladies and gentlemen, I am officially running for President of the United States, and we are going to make our country great again.
The press laughed. Analysts dismissed it as a publicity stunt. But this time, Trump wasn't selling condos. He was selling anger. His slogan, "Make America Great Again," became a mirror. People saw in it their lost jobs, lost pride, lost power. Trump didn't create the storm. He simply learned how to ride it. As his campaign grew, the lines blurred between reality and performance. Outrage became his strategy. Lies became leverage. For Trump, truth was negotiable, like every deal he ever made. He understood something vital. Control the narrative, and you control reality. The media mocked him, yet couldn't look away, and that was the point. His flaws didn't end his career. They defined it. Arrogance, ego, defiance. The same traits that once bankrupted him now made him unstoppable. Every scandal made him stronger. Every insult made him louder. And then the unthinkable happened. The man mocked as a reality show joke was sworn in as the 45th President of the United States. He entered Washington as a disruptor, a businessman in a world of politicians. He governed like he negotiated, firing advisors, breaking alliances, rewriting playbooks. Supporters called it courage. Critics called it chaos. His presidency was a paradox. Record markets, record division. Power and scandal walked hand in hand. Yet for Trump, survival was victory enough. But every empire carries its cracks. The same defiance that built his legend began to consume it. Investigations mounted. Allies turned. The chaos that had once lifted him began to pull him down. He left Washington not as a defeated man, but as a strategist plotting his next return. Because to Donald Trump there are no endings, only negotiations left unfinished. He remains one of the most divisive figures in modern history. Adored, hated, unforgettable. To his followers, he is proof that you can defy the world and still win. To his critics, he is a warning of what happens when ambition has no brakes. Donald Trump's story isn't just about politics or power. It's about the hunger to be seen, the refusal to kneel, and the cost of building your name into a nation. He built towers of gold, then set the world on fire to remind it of his name. In every empire, there is a man who refuses to fall. Donald Trump was that man, and his shadow still stretches across the world. Like and subscribe for the second part, and for more such insightful videos. Also, don't hesitate to share your idea for the next videos.